Hello again everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today it's time for another quick announcement from Retro Games Limited. As you can see on the screen, firmware 1.0.3 has been released today. And it says on the post, we've been hard at work improving the Spectrum so it will be even more fun to play with over the Christmas period. We've added support for demos and games such as Retro Souls Ringo that perform per scan line page flips or palette updates. A few bug fixes to save handling and other general improvements. And then it's got see the link for full details. So we will see the link. Okay, clicking on it. We've seen most of this page, so we're not going to look at the top part. We're just interested in what's introduced in 1.0.3. The release is documented by the Spectrum user manual. Supports games and demos that perform per scan line page flips or palette updates. Allows keyboard tokens to be used in Spectrum save file names. Makes Kempston the default joystick, fixing not detected for USB programs unless game or machine default settings are set up. Yes, I showed you that on one of my videos, didn't I? That for some reason you had to keep going into the settings to activate the joystick. So that's good that you don't have to do that anymore. That's definitely an improvement. It improves virtual cassette navigation of .tap files, improves saving files to USB stick from classic mode, see manual chapter 11, saving programs and data for full details, improves undocumented Z80 behaviour, fixes saving of code with no attached writable media and fixes issues of rewind mode occasionally being inaccessible if machine settings or controller mapping has not been set up. I haven't used Rewind, not once, so I don't know that. I don't know of any of these other issues personally, but hopefully if any of you guys have got any of these issues, they've now been addressed. I'm sure there are probably a lot more issues that people do have. I mean, I've already discovered a few games that don't work, which is a bit disappointing, but what can you do? You know, when you've got thousands of games on there, I guess not all of them are going to work. Obviously, right down the bottom, it does say again, that by downloading the upgrade, the firmware upgrade, you are risking your Spectrum, or it's entirely at your own risk or whatever. I wouldn't say you're risking your Spectrum, that sounds like they're saying it's faulty. They're just saying you do it at your own risk. And that's, I don't know why they're doing that with this now, because like I've had like the A500 Mini, I've had the C64 Maxi, and I've always done these firmware upgrades when they come out, and I'm pretty sure that we never had these warnings on there. So I don't like getting those, because even like if it's a standard thing for them to do on things like this, I just don't like reading about the possibility that it could make my Spectrum go wrong, particularly if it's like an official upgrade, because like when you do updates for your PS5 and all the rest of it, you don't get these warnings all the time. You just do them because you have to. So I don't particularly like this necessarily, this little warning every time, but what are you going to do? And obviously right down the bottom of the page, in case you've forgotten how to do it, are the instructions for how to do the upgrade if you're going to. It's fairly simple. Obviously, like I always say, if they're going to put their warnings up there, I'll also put my own warning and say I'm not endorsing that you do these upgrades. It's entirely up to you. Like most people on the comments when I did the first upgrade and it was corrupted, sort of said I was stupid for like messing with the system, and it's like, yeah, I guess so, but if they are trying to correct mistakes, then you want to correct them as well, don't you really? Well, I do anyway. I don't want certain features not working, and that thing with the Kempston joystick, for example, it's not a massive thing, but it is a bit of a pain in the butt where you have to keep going into the settings every time before you play a game. It'd be handy if it was working without having to do that. And every time I did an upgrade for the C64 and the Amiga Mini's firmware, I never had problems with it. So, it's the first time ever that I've known one of their firmwares be a bit iffy. And I think, when they're bringing out one on release day, probably you haven't thoroughly tested it, have you? I'm assuming since that went wrong, they probably thoroughly tested the firmware upgrades since. But again, if you want to keep yours at the factory level, then, it's not for me to say that you shouldn't be doing that. You do whatever you want with your own property, don't you, at the end of the day? And this is just a helpful little tip for you if you haven't got Facebook, so that you know that this is available. Right, everybody, I'm starting to waffle now. It's been a long day and I'm tired, and it's starting to show in my speech output a little bit, so I'm going to go before I say something really stupid. Merry Christmas again to everybody. I've wished you all Merry Christmas on the last few videos, but I'll say it again in case you're only watching one of these videos or whatever. Hope you have a good time. As I've already said, I'm not going to be doing a lot myself, so I'll probably be getting a few more videos up. I'm working on a couple right now, and I might try and start a few different style videos as well. Might also be moving away from the Spectrum as well in some of my videos, you know, doing maybe some more back on the Amiga Mini and stuff like that. Or I've got quite a few different retro consoles. If there's any that you want to see particularly, let me know in the comments, please do. And you know, I haven't got any keys for any games recently, so I just come to think of it, I did have a few, but I've let them lapse now. I totally forgot about them, to be honest. But so I'm still trying to get a key for the new Indiana Jones game, but I don't think they're going to give me one of those. But I really want to play that, so I might be playing a bit of that over Christmas. And again, if you want to see coverage of that, let me know. That one will be a little bit more tricky because like the music's probably going to get copyrighted and stuff, but we'll see. Anyway, have a good one anyway, and I'll be releasing videos over the Christmas period, but also I wish you a Happy New Year as well, in case you're busy and you don't get to watch videos until after Christmas. Hope you have a good New Year as well. Thanks everybody, thanks for your support this year, really do appreciate it. Take care, see you soon, bye for now.